I'm H-A-P-P-Y, I'm H-A-P-P-Y. I know I am, I'm sure I am. I'm H-A-P-P-Y. Well, sort of this morning. It really is the day after the night before. I had a jolly time this weekend. And I also kind of going to put market neutral to the test. And a warm welcome to one and all. And for those of you not seen me before, my name is Langers, and I am the very tired, rough-looking, scruffy trader. Because I've had a great weekend this weekend. It's been a lot of sun, a lot of barbecue, maybe a little bit too much drink.
Are you serious?
But that's what life's for. And the beauty of trading is, if I don't want to trade today, I don't have to. I'm fine, so happy days. But it kind of leads on to a couple of comments that I had this weekend. One of them was, why am I not professional?
Cheeky fuckers.
Well, I am professional. I just enjoy my job. And I don't have a boss. Well, I do. Winky's my boss, let's be honest. What she says goes. But I can do what I like when I like. And when I'm at the charts, I know exactly what I'm looking at, and I know exactly how to trade it. Other than that, I'm just enjoying myself. And if that comes across as unprofessional, well, go watch one of the others. I'm not really bothered. I don't need a lesson in how I conduct myself. I genuinely don't.
Isn't that logical?
And another one was that market neutral is rubbish. Well, I'm going to prove it's not. Well, of sorts, anyway. The problem with when I get comments like this is, it is never from somebody who is profitable. It's always from somebody who just wants to have a pop because they fail. And they fail because they don't put the work in and they expect everything handed to them on a plate. You know, there are no free rides in this world, guys. You know, you must put the work in, and that has to be paid for in either time, commitment, or money. Now it's up to yourselves which ones that you choose. For me, it's all of it. I've spent a fortune learning, getting where I am today. I am fully committed to what I do because I have to be paid. And I've put the time in. I've done this a very long time. Too many people sort of watch the Lambo boys, and I know I take the piss quite a lot out of them. But that's all it is. It's just a bit of fun mockery. But you cannot learn a trade and a craft overnight. You truly can't. It takes time and you have to build it up. But I kind of want to touch on market neutral. You see, when you're swing trading, it is dominant trend. You go with the trend. You have to, because none of us can predict that far into the future. But within that dominant trend, there are waves. Now, when you're down on an hourly chart, 15, 5 minute, those waves can almost become a trend within a trend. And that's why market neutral can work, because you're not biased on your direction. Don't get me wrong. If you are going with the dominant direction, you have a greater chance of success. You genuinely do, because you're going with the flow. But if you're going against it, there's nothing wrong with getting in and getting out. And because I predominantly only look at high ATR markets, if it's not sort of going to move 60 to 100 pips in a day, I'm not really going to do market neutral with it. Reason being is it reduces the chances of success. So it's very simple. And it's why in one of the comments was, why do I pick the market before I pick the tool? It's that exact reason. You know, I'm picking a market that I know can move, but then I add other little elements to it to make certain I can understand that it is going to move. Okay, so let me show you something. Let me just pull up the screen. Now yesterday, so this is 24 hours notice, by the way, I posed a question. As you can see, we've had a jolly old time of things across the weekend, all of us, because life is for living, and I do mean live your life. Anyway, my comment is very simple. I want to test something on the 19th. Can somebody name a market and direction for between 9 AM and 4 PM so it can be random? I want to test to see if you can do one trade, minimum of 5 pips, because you can build a wage off 5 pips. You genuinely can. And I just want to put it together as, call it chaos theory. Chaos theory is just random theory. So the idea is the guys have picked the market and they picked the direction before I've opened the screen. Now it's 8:30 in the morning now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up pound JPY, and I will be trading it short after 9 o'clock. Regardless of what the situation is, it is going short. Why? Just to put it to test. Now, it's either going to go right or it's going to go wrong. Now, I'm looking for a minimum of 5 pips, ideally more. But if I can get 5 pips off from a random situation, why not? And it's literally just a test, guys. It's not something that I condone that you do. But I just want to show you that you don't always have to be sort of following the rules. Okay, so there we are. So a little salute to Maria for shouting out pound JPY short. She picked it up. A couple of the other guys chipped in. However, I think they didn't quite read all of the question, because they just said gold, and a little bit further down somewhere CAC. So cheers Volker and Kevin, but you missed out the direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with Maria because she was first out the hat, and that's what we're going to trade. But a good salute to all three of you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just pause the camera now. Got like half an hour or so before the market's open. I'm going to do it is one camera shot. I'm going to leave the screen on. I'm not going to chop it, change it, anything. It is just going to be that one market, and I'll leave the camera running till it's time to go into market, and you'll see it all. Okay, so there we go. So I'll see you at 9 o'clock.
Well, we're waiting.
Okay, guys. So I'm back. Here we are. It is just turned 9 o'clock. If I drop this down onto the 5-minute chart, there you go. You should be able to see bottom corner, 19th of July, 9 o'clock. Okay. So what I'm proposing to do is go short. Now it's not quite ready yet. As you can see, it is rattling up, but it could be. So what have we got? Well, we've got a couple of zones that we can work with, and there is one there, and there's one there. So we now know the price is contained between the two. Simple stuff. So let us fatten that out a little bit. Now, all I ever do to draw a zone in is use a Fibonacci tool. It's quick and easy, and it's just 10% either side of the level. Now, I did have a comment today about supply and demand, and talking about it. All supply and demand is levels. That's it. You know, there's nothing mysterious about them, and it's just a fancy way of saying levels. And why is that? Because levels are created by price action, and price action by definition is supply and demand. And why is that? Because you're always going to have a buyer and a seller. and it depends on which one is the strongest at the point of that level, and that's what moves the markets. So it's simple stuff. I mean, it's nothing to get excited about, and they're very, very easy to work out. Now, we can see the price is now contained between two levels. You have a solid level here and a solid level there. So I guess the next question is, why put a band round it? It's because the markets are not pip perfect. They will not go to the exact level. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of the time they do, but they're there or thereabouts. And that's the key point. Be there or thereabouts. So for our sake, if I was trading up into this, as soon as it gets into it, take your profit. Why not? You're there or thereabouts. You're getting paid. Why be greedy? And that's the thing. You just get in there or thereabouts. Well, right, happy days. Let's have some money. Right? And it works the other way if you're looking to get in. Because I often say if you get the direction right, it'll forgive a bad entry. Now that is so when you're looking at the dominant directions. When you're market neutral, it's still correct to a degree, but you need to have an understanding that the move you're expecting is of a decent size. And if it's of a decent size, it's still going to whip around inside it. So yes, it will forgive a bad entry. So just little things. And this is what market neutral is all about. It's about just being able to trade in the moment. You know, when you're swing trading, you're not trading in the moment. You're trading over a length of time. And a lot of things can happen. There could be a natural disaster. Who sees them coming? Of course you don't. But it does affect the markets. You know, it could be anything. A company could just suddenly declare it's going bankrupt. That'll affect the stock market, which will affect the indices. This is assuming it's a huge company, by the way. There's lots of different factors when you swing trading that you just won't see. Now, on the day, you possibly can. You read the news, you look at the economic calendars, all these things. I am a believer that what's in the economic calendar is priced into the market to a degree. Bear with me half a second. I shall be back. Okay, sorry guys, someone at the door with a parcel. Because like I say, I'm not going to come off the camera. It is going to be one shot right through. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this settle itself down. And then I'll come back to you when it's time to enter. Okay guys, starting to show a few signs. So we're going to start working on getting some orders in. So we're going at 5 pips at a time. And we're going to pop it at the base of there. Okay. Bang. And we'll work on this throughout the day sort of thing. Yeah, okay. All right. So all you're going to see is I'm going to work zone to zone. I am going to be short only. I'm looking for a decent trade of 5 pips, and all I'm doing here is I'm basically using the zones as points of entry and sort of execution of the trade, if you like. And the whole process is just to show, well, one, how these zones work, because they do. They are what I call a train station, because it's an area where the price will stall and have a little bit to think about what it's doing. Now, because I'm only moving for 5 pips, it'll probe, and it'll probe around these levels. And while it's probing, there's a good chance it'll punch down and hit your 5 pips. And it don't matter which way it is, because it can probe up as well as down. But as you saw at the beginning of the video, the process was short only. So that is the game. So there we go. I'll just let it run out and we shall see how we get on. Right guys, just in time. This is about to just hit target. It is coming right now. Happy, happy days. Come on, little boy. You've only got a little way to go. Couple of quid. There they are. They're shutting out now. Bingo. So what was the idea of today? It was really just to show a random chart, read it and trade it. Okay, this is rocketing down, and boy is it rocketing down.
You came nothing? You're braver than I thought.
There we go. No shock what's on my ringtone. Let's see what it's done. 328. Quite happy. And what was the process behind this? Very simple. Locking the price between zones. Get rid of that, we don't need that no more. And looking to bounce it. Very, very simple.
No way!
Basically all that was happening is the price has to retrace. It always does. Now, the idea of today was to show what market neutral is, because even if I was told to go long, working on the principle that I've just used, you know, had a certain couple of triggers and just measured out reasonable areas of interest. It was based on this zone. So if I wasn't going to go short, I was looking for the break of this to come down. If I was going long, I'd have still used the zone, but I'd have gone the other way. And all I was doing here was working it down onto this zone down there. Simple stuff, guys. Really is simple stuff. Now do I recommend doing what I've just done? Not really. It was fortunate it was on a fast moving market. If it was on a slow moving market, it would be a little bit harder. But the hard part of it would have been the boredom factor, because the principle would be the same, but I might have to wait hours upon hours to get into it. On this one, not so bad, because it is quite a fast market and it'll bounce up and down. And that was it. So 328. Not bad. Could have had more if I wasn't carving off, but I was carving off for a very specific reason. When I'm bouncing, I'm looking to bank money, and that pockets of money that gets banked can help me get out of trouble if I'm in it. And what I mean by that is start with 0, end with 1. Don't matter what happens in the middle. And that's what these banking does. So you're starting with 0, you bank a bit, you bank a bit, you bank a bit, and then at the end of the night, when you're clashing or closing down, cashing out if you like, the idea is all of those banks is enough to make it a positive expectancy. That's the idea behind it anyway. Like I say, the price stayed within the zones, so I was quite happy, and it has paid me. So I hope that kind of shows you a little bit about what market neutral means. I know I do things out of the norm, and I genuinely do, because I don't think the norm works. In fact, well, it's not a question of I don't think it works. I know it doesn't work. I have spent thousands, and literally thousands, on trading, you know, and all of my losses, when I've looked back through 15 years of doing this, has always been trying to follow the norm. We all trade our own way. We all look at the charts in our own way. It's what moves the markets. But I do what works for me. And my advice, you find something that works for you, don't listen to another soul. Listen to yourself. Your best teacher is you. You know your personality, you know your pain thresholds, you know what makes you greedy, you know what makes you fearful. No one else does, which is why you are your best teacher. So I'm going to leave it with my favourite quote. Know thyself, it is the beginning of wisdom. And it truly is. Look in the mirror and ask yourself some questions. So trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.